What's going on, people? Okay, so listen, I know that this wasn't scheduled. Normally, we do go live on Sunday. I'm a little late. We just got home, so I figured I'd go ahead and start one up and see what everybody was up to. Give you a little bit of an update. It's crazy in here right now, so if it's a little loud and you hear some stuff, it'll be all right. So while y'all come in, I got some stuff I want to talk about. When you come in, I'm gonna switch over to YT just a second. There we go. Howdy, Rick. Oh, I'm trying to get this. There we go. Now maybe it won't have no. Okay. How's it going, Rick? Josh, what's up, man? Just wanted to hop on and see what's going on. Tell everybody, we ain't been on in like, let's see, what, 3 weeks? Probably we ain't had a live in 3 weeks. Switching back and forth between Saturday and Sunday because of life. But anyway, Little Ridge Farm, what's going on? Hope everything's going well your way. Brandon's Outdoors. Appreciate you coming in, Bubba. Man, I got some crazy stuff to talk about, y'all. I did some stuff I said I wasn't going to. It's terrible. Anyway, I figured. It's Sunday. What is it? I don't even know what time it is. We ain't been home in about an hour. 9:28. I'm 30 minutes late. We normally go about 9 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead because, like I said, ain't really nothing scheduled. Just a few things to talk about. I ain't gonna go long, but try to see what's up. Let me get a link in here so I don't have to do that later. Because I don't mind having guests. Y'all know we ain't gonna have Bobby for a few more weeks anyway, so. And my girlfriend Jules is probably in bed right now. That's good to hear, man. I hope things get better as they go. Again, Josh, I ain't seen you in a while, man. How's it going over there? You've been busy. I watched one of yours, Rick. Your tree tapping or getting your trees ready to tap. So, yeah, while I'm waiting for people to come in, I need some stuff to blab about. That'll be one thing I touch on. Anything, it don't matter who you are, what you're doing. If you're posting videos that's helping people be more self-sustainable, as far as growing your own food, hunting, you don't have to be a farming channel. If you're hunting, fishing, anything where you're putting up food, freezing meat, trapping meat, whatever it is, wine making, beer making, recipes, growing food, anything is showing people how to live life just a little bit easier without going to the store and buying it. You can always use that hashtag garden guru. So, Rick, now you know, man, uh, all videos are the same caliber. We're just trying to teach other people how to do stuff. So, anytime you feel like it's something where you're teaching somebody else, how to live just a little bit better, more self sustaining, drop that hashtag in there. We don't get mad at nobody. We do have one lady that don't do nothing but cook, and she uses the hashtag. So yeah, it's all good. It don't matter. I wish we could find some around here. We got about 12. I got to go start looking for some trees. I like tapping some just to be trying it. Look at Nightbot. He ain't late. Small water charters. Hello, awesome people. How y'all doing? It's good to see you. I just feel good to be home. I didn't think I was gonna get home in time to do another one and miss it again. There's some of my favorites. Hey man, and well, Jesse and Lisa. I can't just say hey man. Anyway, hey, awesome people. Some of my favorite right there. I love you folks. Thank you for coming in. I know y'all been wide open with the streams and stuff. Some crazy giveaways. Normally we go live, but you don't try to go live on Saturday. Jesse and Lisa got that wrapped up all the way to 10 o'clock. Look, they already here dropping links. Okay, y'all. Anyway, this live is I don't care how many people show up, it's not that kind of live. Hey, sweet Boone, I love you, lady. Thank you for coming in. Hope you're getting better. I'll do it. I'm gotta open some stuff for Bobby. There you go, baby. Thank you. Okay. Hey everybody. So, hey, you made the TV go off. Fix it back. What? The TV.
Oh,
Just push it.
sheesh. Okay.
Anyway, so I got a bunch of stuff. Well, not a bunch, but I got one thing I'm gonna talk about a bunch because I said I wasn't gonna do it. Just push it forward. I'm not even sure they can even hear me right now.
They should, yeah. Did the light come back on? There it
Yeah.
goes.
So step over when you go out and don't come back in here ever again. So anyway, well, I don't have a lot to talk about, but seriously, what I do got to talk about is ridiculous because the last time we had a live stream, I know some of you guys was in. I know Boom was, but anyway, I posted a picture of a chicken order because I wanted to have a topic to talk about. I actually wanted to make a live stream and plan one for once, So we was going to talk about the price of chickens, and I made an order. I can't remember where it was at. It might have been Meyer Hatchery. Somebody that was in here probably will remind me. They know better than me. But anyway, I went to one. I made a fake order, and we ordered what was it? 5 chickens. We had 5 chickens. I had 2 roos and 3 hens. Can't remember exactly what the breed is, and I know I deleted that picture now. But I was going through the roof about it being $85. Like I was really like going off because it was $85. Now that was with vaccination just for the Merrick's. We will vaccinate our own when they're here most of the time, but if the vac's cheap and we trust the people that's going to be doing our birds, normally we don't let nobody do it. We do them when they get here. Just depends on how long they travel, but normally we get our birds from North Carolina. Okay, so with that being said, let me tell you the big screw up bad thing that I said I would never do because of the last live stream when I seen that $85, I said there's just no way I'm ever going to do that. It's crazy. So that's what we're going to talk about. Those 5 birds was $85, and I finally found because you guys know I've been looking for a specific breed. I'm not going to say what it is right now, but there's a really rare breed I've been trying to get my hands on for the past 2 years. I found somebody that had some that's really close. Because again, I can get my hands on some chickens, but you guys know, I'm all about my chickens. So I try to get them. If there's a source and I can't get my hands on them and it's all the way across the United States, I just won't get the chickens. I don't feel like they need to be shipped that far over. So I like to get as close or local as I can. So it's been really hard for me to get my hands on this breed. Scott, what's going on, fam? Good to see you, buddy. Not today. So when I see this link, I see that these people are actually in Georgia. Hey, Joy, love you, lady. Uh, so I was like, okay, Georgia, now here we go, man. We got a chance to get this breed that I've been wanting to get. So I went through, made an order, did a name order because I want 2 roos. You always get 2 if you're going to do mating pairs because something's going to happen. Most of the time, you'll wind up with 1 roo. And it got me 3 ladies. And I'm not going to show the order because I don't know where it's at. But anyway, after I put it all together, I went ballistic. Seriously, my blood pressure went through. So I closed it all down, let it go. Bobby actually found out what I was doing. Hey, Tina, I'm gonna start missing some people here in a minute. Um, Tina Ladybug, what's going on, fam? Thank you for coming. That's my chef. I like to see all the stuff she's slinging out on Facebook. The food looks good. So anyway, yeah, everybody's like, shut up and go and get back. Where'd you mess up at? So anyway, I shut it all down. I was like, there's just no way, no matter how bad I want, I'm just not gonna do it. Bobby found out what I was doing, goes in, pulls out the credit card, says it's really close to your birthday, so I did this for you, and I went back and there's 5 chickens with really, really shy of $200, y'all. Not lying, so help me. If I could have canceled it, if I mean she's not in here, not watching, so I don't want to hurt her feelings. But if I could have got it stopped or canceled, then it would have been we wouldn't have did it. So by the way, as we're going through, we're late because we had to go by and grab a few things. And uh, normally, y'all know we try to stay home unless we're working. We don't like to go a lot of places. By the way, Hemi, 7 months ago we got COVID. Hemi never caught it. Hemi got it 2 weeks ago. He's just getting over it now. So we was kind of running some low on some stuff. So as we go through our local big store, you guys know what I'm talking about. We're looking at $8.19 for a regular dozen of eggs. Now we got chicken, so You guys know we went silly enough to do that. But anyway, it's getting pretty crazy because you guys know back in the day, Jules Small Gardening did a big old excerpt on a live stream one time about futures of prices, and corn was a really, really big one. Corn was going to go triple on us. You know, it was going to go up 300%. Now, this was 2 years ago, and he was trying to tell everybody it's not going to be immediate, but stock up on feed because it's going to come. And that's what he does. He's a professor at a college. He teaches that stuff. So here we are, 2 years later, it's 300%, especially those synthetic fertilizers that all our commercial corn growers is having to buy. A lot of them that's been doing it for years is having to switch to a whole different crop and just, after being doing it for 50, 60 years, having to dump it because the price of fertilizers is just going through the roof. You can actually get organic stuff now that's even better than some of the synthetic stuff that they're having to use. Therefore, corn is in everything. You know what I'm saying? Especially the feeds and stuff. So it tripled. You're not going to be able to get eggs for 350 a dozen anymore because eventually it's going to trickle down. Now I know you guys have heard this from the big channels, and a lot of these people are, to me, just seems like a little bit of fear mongering to me. You know what I'm saying? Normally I'll talk about stuff like this, but when you've got 5 chickens and you pay just shy of $200 for them, that's without vaccination, and they're just the next state over from you or two, it's time to start thinking about getting chickens. Because I know a lot of people are saying, well, I got to get to that spot, but I've been wanting to get some, or I need to get some. If there ever was a time, it was yesterday. Because I said, Wendy, here is another new member. Thank you very much for the support, Wendy. We love you. Thank you for showing up at such a crazy notice because we didn't even know we was going to go live. We got home 30 minutes, but just in time. And now I'm ranting about spending money. So you came in just at the right time. Nunya, Jake, what's going on, buddy? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. I'm keeping up with your stuff. I just not commenting because a lot of times I'm at work at a client's place. I can listen, but if I'm, doing this, I'm really not getting anything done because I'm using my two hands. There's the other Wendy. Hey, Wendy, how you doing, Guru? Good to see you. I'm in here fussing about spending money on chickens. Let me make sure I drop this link in case somebody wants to come up and say, hey, because I promise y'all, when I said I wasn't going to go live long, I'm really not going to. But I feel like talking about this a little bit. So, yeah, anyway, as we was rolling through, I just so happened to glance over and see in the corner um, that the egg section looked pretty busy. And I just took a right to go over and see what everybody was grabbing them for now. And they're like what did I say, 813 or 819 for Um, I think it's 18 or 12. I didn't get close enough to look, but yeah, I didn't think it was going to hit that quick. But it's coming. It's going to be, it's coming down to wherever you're at if you're getting local. And there's a lot of people that saying, well, I'm still getting from a people for $3.50, $4 a dozen. That's fine. I'm just letting you know you're not ever going to get to do that because their feed is eventually going to go up too, unless they're making their own. But if they're making their own, then they're probably already charging that much anyway for people that make their own feed. I know people that have 13 different 50-pound bags of stuff and they make their own feed just because of a lot of the controversy. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to mention any names or companies, but the controversy over chicken feed and the effects it has on chickens here lately with eggs and stuff of that nature, people want to make their own feed now, so that's becoming more popular. However, when you go that route, guys, you're going to be paying triple the amount, but that's an initial cost. Some of these 50-pound bags will last you a whole year because you're just not going to use them that much because of the protein count in them. And of course, you're going to have a calculator to do it all to make your own feed. But normally, when people go through that much trouble, they're already charging between $4 and $8 a dozen anyway, and they're getting it. They have steady customers, and that's been going on for years. But the people that's just going and getting Producer's Pride or Jack Lux or Game Bird or whatever and selling their chicken eggs for $3.50, $4, it's not going to last long because these prices, as long as you're still getting them from the big box, they're trickling down to everybody over fertilizer, corn, things of that nature. So anyway, I just came on to rant and say I did do what I said I wasn't going to do. thanks to Bobby. So it was a birthday thing. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it. It ain't like we do good. We own our own business. We have employees. It's not that. It's just my stubbornness of saying I just never thought it was going to get that way that fast. Uh, I knew it could. I knew it could. But once we started talking about corn futures with Jules and stuff, I knew once the price of the feed happened, it would be, no time. I just didn't think it was going to be this fast, no time. So it's getting pretty crazy as far as North Carolina goes. I'm also part of a bunch of groups on Facebook. Some of y'all are in there with me and I already know what I'm talking about. One big one I'm in that I have a lot of badges and stuff in because I answer questions is it's the North Carolina Chicken Group on Facebook. There's a few of them, but I'm in one main one, and there's a lot of people now having to buy locks for their omelets and all their automatic chicken coop doors. There's some kind of scheme going around now where people's trying to go buy laying hens or eggs from homesteaders. Once they go there, they scope the place out, come back and steal the egg laying chickens. Now, let me tell you why they're doing that, and it's a real thing. It's happening and it's trickling down through a group really, really bad right now in North Carolina because, I mean, there's groups of people stealing other people's chickens. The reason why they're doing this is because most breeds, especially heritage breeds, most people like those because you can breed and make babies get more eggs. Hybrids, not so much. You're going to get either mom or dad, not the same breed. Anyway, regardless of what you're picking up, it normally takes chickens between 6 months to a year to start laying eggs. Now you have that initial cost and you got that long wait. Nobody, well, let's say the lazier people don't really want to wait that long, work that hard, spend that money and wait for the chicken to lay eggs. They just want to find your chickens that's laying eggs and come back at nighttime and steal them. Now that's not happening with me. Most of our chickens is locked up inside of buildings and stuff right now, but it's really popular on Facebook right now, especially in one of the North Carolina groups. So I don't know if it's happened in other states, but I'm saying with the price of well fertilizers and it trickling down the feed, down the chickens, down the eggs, and everything else. Um, I'm not going to be surprised if it wouldn't start happening in your area too, especially if these things go up to like as projected. So if we're looking at projections, guys, just like Jules said 2 years ago, we're looking at $25 a dozen, and that's not in 2024. That's this year, 2023. So just another one of those things. Normally, I don't do warning lives or any type of videos like that, but a lot of people that follow us talk about they're really interested in getting some chickens sometime soon, or when they get in a better place or situation. And there's no better time. Baby chicks right now, when you look at them on the boards and you're looking at them online, they're still 6, 10, and $15. But when you actually click on them, get them shipped, or you pick that breed, they're going, oh, hold on, it's still cold weather. We can't just ship you 5 chickens. They'll die. You need to get this many chickens so they'll keep each other warm. It's always been the base, right? Anybody that's ordered chickens before, that's been going on forever. But now you're racking up on that $15 to $20 chick price. You go ahead and strap on that to 10 chicks. It's getting crazy, guys, way too fast. So fast that it's shocking me. So I accepted that birthday gift of pretty close to $200 for 5 chickens, and I'm going to use that chicken to make that money back. So when they get here, we'll talk about it. I'll share what they are with you and tell you where they came from. I'm actually going to rate the hatchery because I know I never ever do this, but they're really local. They're small. They're not huge. They're not contracted out to the public. They're kind of like us, just a little bit bigger. They just, they got licensed and got bigger, and they sell more chickens. That's all. And they actually had the breed I want. And they're really close. So it's not like I'm supporting a big hatchery, but at the same time, buying chickens in general, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I don't really have that big of a problem with it if it's something I want, but that $85 I thought was just going to be the tip of the iceberg. It would all roll over. I think Boom was in the air at the time, and I was like, really, I was pretty pissy about it. Seriously, for that, I was like, there's no, y'all don't be buying chickens that, like right now. If I could change what I said, I would be saying get them now. $85 is definitely not the staple. It's going to get worse. It's going to get higher. So if you want them, you can get your hands on some. And if they're under 10 or $15, then it's already a buy. Because I remember getting chicks for $2.75, and that's any chick I wanted. So it's best to go ahead if you want them and try your best to get them now. But because there's always good places, guys. But if you go back to some of the times when our nation had it worse, a lot of places didn't have thieves. There was a lot of places, upstanding citizens, and the next thing you know, because things got worse in so many other areas, those people actually got and came into the places that actually didn't have thieves and was still in there too. So I'm just saying it's really crazy. You see the memes on Facebook about somebody takes a picture of somebody else looking at the big crate of eggs and say, "Oh, look, she's shopping in the rich people section or whatever." And they're making a bunch of jokes about it, but you know, it's it is what it is. But I don't think it's going to change. Let's see what this is. Yeah, and I also would like to talk a little bit about how I'm not going to be incorporating them in the garden so much. This new weed-free gardening situation that we have coming out, it's going to be coming out. Yeah, I just switched really quick, didn't I? Anyway, Anti, what's going on, my brother? How you doing, man? Cecilia, I missed you. I didn't see you come in. How you doing? Thank you for showing up. Jesse and Lisa, thank you guys for doing all the work. I'm ignoring chat like a crazy person as I usually do once I get talking. Prep for eternity. Hey, what's up? Sorry, I'm late, slow, whatever. So yeah, the weed-free gardening video is coming out Wednesday. This Wednesday. If you guys are members, you already got a link. If it wasn't working, what happens is I set it for 24-hour timer. Give everybody time. That's just I don't know why I do that, but then I always have to go unlock it and let all the members watch it until the day it posts because I forget it's set that way. Jeremy, man, how you doing? It's good to see you. It's been a while. One of my favorite Canadian channels. Jeremy, Carmillers, how y'all doing? Man, I hope all is good your way. So anyway, it'll be coming out. Yeah, this coming Wednesday. There's going to be 3 videos that show you start to finish how we do this weed free stuff. The second video is going to tell you exactly how much it costs for one garden, and it tells you everything we use. This stuff has to be cut in a really odd way, so it's not in the second video. It's going to be in the last video where we got the idea from. Actually, is going all that's going to be in the last video, but this second one is just going to show how we're making it, put it down, all the stuff that we're using, and the main cost. So we're trying to do that in between running a company and homeschooling 2 kids and just getting out of all this crazy sickness and probably almost dying from an infection and stuff. So we're getting back into the swing of things, but getting back here to how he was on YouTube. It's taking a whole lot of time. But yeah, that chicken situation is ridiculous. So I'm not saying it's going to be happening in your town, but anyway, just go check out Facebook and check out some of the groups. It's getting really crazy. And who would have thought? Eggs and chickens, it's the new thing people are stealing. Caucasian Sasquatch, how you doing? Let's see, CJM, I heard you say something. Man, we miss y'all too, but it's good to see you. I've been checking out some of your stuff. I know you guys is doing good. You made a ton of progress, man. Your thumb is all green now. You're growing freaking vegetables like a champ, and you're making progress on that homestead up there that you and her's making together. It's awesome. I just don't get to watch it enough, and I don't get to see a lot from you guys much anymore. But it's good to see you in here, and it's good to see you guys are still rocking on, Jeremy. Thank you, Jake. If you ain't already gone, appreciate you, man. Slow, you know how it is. Old and slow. So if you're talking about chickens, Boone, you will be just fine. They are 10 times easier than rabbits. Uh, you get your eggs when you come home from work, or you can wait 2 days in a row. Our chickens don't eat any eggs, especially in the wintertime. They're not, unless it's so cold they freeze. But you can feed them at nighttime when they're sleeping. When you come in, it's fine. As long as you got your water and feed system set up, you only really feed them water them once a day. You know, if you get it set up right. Summertime's a little different unless you get a good setup right. So anyway, I'm gonna toss this link one more time. Like I told y'all, I'm not gonna stay on here really long. I just wanted to come on and rant about chickens, talk to you guys about what I said I wasn't going to do, but I did. What to look forward to if you want to look for baby chicks coming to your local stores that you get to go pick up and look at them. They're going to be double this year too, so you're still looking somewhere between $9 to $16 for a chick. And usually when you get those, they're you know kind of sickly. They're not always in the best shape. You guys know IMO, but I'm just one of those picky people when it comes to chickens, I guess. Anyway, yes, but you know me. You would get personal drives up there. I'll come up there and we're just 20 minutes away from each other. Jules calls me, you know, whenever I tell him you need me. I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Call me. So yeah, I'll help you. But they're really not that hard. For what you get back as far as chickens go, and how really like the more freedom you give them, the more they're just going to take care of themselves. It's really not that bad. I think the people that have really bad, trouble with chickens is the people that keep them in the small spaces and they never get to get out. The more they get to, range around a little bit, I think the healthier they are. I don't think that it's a good idea to push your chickens. I don't judge people for it, but I don't think it's good to push them through the winter time. I think it's good to give them a break naturally. That's what happens when they're nature. The chickens came from jungle fowl, and the jungle fowl they take break, but because they get to take break, of course they're in warmer climates, but because they get to take a break, it's like two. I think it's maybe 2.5 months, and that's it, just for them. So I mean, it's always better to let them do that. Eggs is always better quality. They don't have so much trouble from the neck down when it comes to producing an egg. I think overall it's better not to be tossing lights. I mean, if you do, you do. Commercial houses do it all the time. They don't add heat because they also know that chickens ain't going to freeze. They don't need heaters, but they will add supplemental light. That's why you see those commercial chicken houses. If you have them in your area, you live in the country, they're lit up way after the sun goes down, is because those chickens need 16 hours of light to keep laying. And a lot of times they'll just leave the lights on for 19 hours and keep the chickens going uh, all year long until they're just completely spent. And then what's the point in that? Hey, look here. Here's my buddy right here. You got a thumbs up? You good to go, buddy? How you doing, Jesse?
I'm doing good. How's my Midas King doing?
Well, I'm happy, but at the same time, I'm frustrated. I don't get out much, so when I go see some of this stuff, I'm like, really? Is it really got that bad?
When you said that, told that story, I not that I've seen anything because I don't follow Facebook. My wife does Facebook, I don't, and I didn't even know that stuff was going on. But I was suspecting in my mind, with the price of eggs going up, how people would not. I wasn't thinking about taking the chicken. I'm thinking about they coming in at night and stealing all the eggs.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I
yeah,
can see why they would take chickens as well. But wow, that's a massive story there that's even going on.
yeah. It's in the North Carolina Chicken Facebook group on Facebook, but so far I counted at least 13 people in an area that's in 6 counties. There's 13 people in 6 counties, and there's at least 4 different groups that's going around stealing people's chickens that's laying eggs. I mean, they know the difference between a rooster and a hen, but I guess if you go try to steal eggs, the trick with that is every hen lays at a different time. So if you come
Yeah.
at nighttime, the morning egg layers are already gone. So it's just people that don't want to put the work or that time into waiting for the chicken to lay the egg. They just want chickens that's already laying,
hmm
and
And you'd have to know how many are at least a year old, right? Because they start putting out about six
right.
months to
You
a
got to
year old.
have that knowledge too. So they just
So
go and find somebody that's already selling eggs, and they
right.
may or may not buy some from you, but They'll locate where your chickens is at and come back and get.
Yeah.
It's happened to a lot of people. Now it's not happened to me. We got security too wrapped up here, but it's crazy that it's even happening.
Right.
And then 2 years ago, like when we was talking about all these prices and how everything was going to go up 300%, and Jules nailed it. It actually went up 300%, but we never thought about people coming to your house stealing chickens or stealing eggs, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a real thing, and it's becoming. I watched over the last 2 months. It's getting really popular because there's more groups attempting to do it, not just one or two anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, it's getting to be where you're going to have to do all your business away from your farm or away from your homestead, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And do your transactions like near a police station or whatever, and eliminate that risk because once they find out where you live, there's where they find out where your chickens are at.
yeah.
So, hey, Josh, how you doing? Those Skinner Farms. But yeah, we got a package from you the other day.
It,
Yep.
it took that long to make it. I think we sent it week before last. We sent it out.
No, yeah, we got it I think we got it about a week ago or 4 days ago, something like that, at a post office box. So we really appreciate that. That'll be subject for our next mail call. So
Cool.
we'll be on the lookout for that.
Sometimes it'll be all that. Sometimes it'll be garden tools. There's no
Yeah,
telling what it could be. Almanacs. There's no telling. But we get like we live really close, and we're buddies with a whole bunch of nurseries here, plus
well,
what we produce here. So
since I don't have a homestead, I live in a subdivision. You don't have to send me that new Kubota. You might be able to send that to somebody who needs
okay, good. All right, that'll work.
it. I'm sure there's a bunch of people like Wendy or somebody could use that new Kubota.
Yeah, I watch Josh a lot. The Stony Ridge farmer. I used to watch him a lot and watch
Oh,
him come over and just deliver a tractor for him to test out. He gets to keep it for a couple months. I'm like, man, must be nice.
yeah. Well, I mean, you probably have room for a tractor over where you're at too, right?
Yeah, we could use one over here.
Pretty big place.
Yeah, we have a Ford. We have a Ford. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a 1500 or something. And
Yeah.
then we got a 1 0 turn and a small John Deere tractor. I use it more than anything else. We don't have any tillers or anything for the big tractor. It's mostly just bush hog, and we
Yeah.
have a straight blade. But we hardly ever get snow to use it. We use it once in a while, but it's usually most a scrape blade for dirt. That's
Right.
about it.
Now you're talking about the feed. Earlier, I wanted to type in the chat, but I said, nah, it's too much to type. If I go up, I'll ask him when I go up. What about these folks that don't really buy much feed, but they feed their chickens based on free ranging and also table scraps? Like lettuce and stuff from the kitchen. Because I mean, back in the day, we didn't have. Remember that back in the day, they didn't have feedlots and feed stores that had chicken feed. They fed them off of table scraps and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Is that not an option today?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. The more freedom you give them, the more they will take care of themselves. Josh, we have a new one. It's on our about page. I just a lot of people's we've had a lot of trouble with it, but anyway, it's reset. There's a new address on our about page. You can send it to there, or we have each other's number. You can, if you want me to, I can give you the one that goes straight to my house. Your choice, bub. I'm good with it either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I don't know if y'all watch anybody like what is it, Lazy Dog Farm?
Yeah, lazy
Anyway,
farm is a good one.
people like Travis. Now, if you'll notice, Travis, he'll just give his chickens a little bit to help out on the eggs, but his chicken tractor is really small. He has like 6 chickens. So all they get is water, and he moves them all over his plots for cover crops, clover, and they don't get chicken feed. They get his table scraps. Now, he knows not to give them citrus, onions,
Yeah.
things that chickens can't have. If they sit around long enough, they may just try to have it. Chickens anyway, they'll try anything once. We
Right.
got one chicken named Ravioli, and that's why he's called Ravioli. You can't keep him out of a trash can to eat Chef Boyardee ravioli sauce. It's his favorite. I don't know why. But chickens will try anything once. So he makes sure they don't get the things they don't need. But then everything else, I'm talking anything they have for supper, as long as it ain't candy or the stuff that they're not supposed to get, they dump it to the chickens. and then all those chickens get to eat after that is what he pulls and lets them rest over the garden and eat, and that's it. They don't buy chicken feed. So you can do that, but you have to do the work of making sure they get to free range every day, or you leave them out to free range, or you open range. Open range is a different thing. I
Yeah.
do open range, but as long as you're moving around so they can get their food source every day, you give them water,
Now,
backup
can
plan.
but can you do that just like any time of their life, or do you have to start that when you first get your chickens
No, you can implement that at any stage.
at any stage? Okay,
Yeah,
as long as you got the room to do it,
yeah,
and they got enough nourishment. But
right. You can. There's been a study where they took chickens that ate feed their entire life and didn't know what green stuff was. They'd never been outside on grass before, didn't know what it was. And when they first put the chickens out there, they were 6 months old, so they was old enough to eat, and they had grit and everything, so they could produce whatever they needed to eat. But they just didn't know what it was. But it
correct,
only took them in 6 days to figure out what vegetables was, green grass, worms, bugs, and they had never seen any of it before.
right?
So just a bug moving around was enough to get it to peck, and then after that was the taste, and then everybody started trying it, and it went crazy. But so yeah, you can implement it at any time, and the chicken's already going to know what to do when you put them out. When you put them out there,
Well, yeah, I mean it's nature. They survive. Nature tries to survive, so yeah,
yeah,
they're going to do what they can. Now, obviously, if you put them in precarious conditions, then it probably wouldn't. But yeah, you got to have. There's got to be some alternative to buying feed because feed's going through the roof, just like
yeah.
the eggs. I think we're paying if we buy the no, this is the farm eggs, not the grocery
Good
store.
night, Boone. I love you too, Boone. We'll tell them. We'll see you. We'll talk to you later in text. Sorry, Jesse. Go ahead.
That's okay. No, but the eggs are going up. I mean, they're like $8 a dozen. That's
Yeah,
that's just highway robbery right there. They're almost $1 an egg, you
yeah,
know, and that's I mean it's wow, it's
yeah.
wow.
So at our local big box store where you get stuff cheap at, they're like $9 a dozen. But if you go to our farmers market and get the dark brown eggs and stuff, they're 12.50 to 13 a dozen.
Well, so we have I don't know how where if everybody has this, but we have an egg person out here. It's a farm. They have 300 acres and they have 30,000 eggs. I mean 30,000 chickens. And they I guess they call free range because they move them in the 300 acres. They move them every single day. It's a different spot.
Right.
They sell eggs to Kroger and HEB, which is our grocery stores here in Texas. So Kroger and HEB buys their eggs, so they have to wash them, per the what is it FDA or one of the regulated companies. But we buy our eggs from them because they sell what they call misfits. So those are the eggs that aren't pretty, like they got little bubbles on them or little. They're not pretty enough for the stores. So we buy them, and they're like 350 a dozen. I mean, for 15. No, it wasn't. It was
Thank you, Jeremy.
$11 for 15. But they're the misfits ones that, and there's some of them are really big and some of them are small. So it's like everything.
$11 for 30.
Was it 30? Okay, I'm sorry. $11 for 30 misfits.
Man.
So
Hello, Ann.
I don't know if you guys have chicken farms like that in your area, but you might check with them, see if they sell the misfits because they're just as good, if not better. Sometimes you get some double yolks. I've never seen a triple yolk, but I imagine there's a triple yolk in there somewhere.
Yep, there is one.
Yeah.
Make sure. Grace and Fire. Hello. Thank you for coming in.
Hey, Ann from Little Frenchies, how you doing? I saw Jake in there earlier.
Yeah, I think Jake was leaving to go. Said he had to hit the sack.
The Chiefs won.
Yeah,
It's Sunday night. I expected them when I go live on Sundays,
yeah.
but we
Word up,
only got nine. And huh?
the Chiefs just won, so it'll be Chiefs and Philadelphia at Super
The
Bowl.
Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah. So just let y'all know they just won. Hey, there's my buddy Grayson Fire. It's Glenda. She's the female chicken whisperer, kind of like what Michael is on the on the other side. So I'm glad she showed up. Hey, Glenda, how you doing? Just in here talking to Michael.
We ain't watched it in 5 years. Me and Bobby did the boycott thing, but when we was watching, she was big on Packers, and I was a huge Baltimore Ravens fan.
Oh my goodness, where are you originally from? Are you originally from North Carolina, Michael?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, born and raised there then.
yeah. I moved around, and I did in
Yeah.
my normal work all over the United States doing stuff, but always, yeah, I always lived here mostly.
And
Moved
that's
in
where
Virginia
Bobby's
some
from.
when I was a kid, huh?
And that's where Bobby's from as well.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, because I'm from Texas. Well, I was born in East LA, but I moved to Texas when I was one, where my parents did, right?
yeah.
So I don't know nothing but Texas. And then my wife is from Oregon, so that's the difference. I mean, her family's way over there, and my family's here, so uh, it's kind of difficult sometimes.
Hey,
So
Barb, I hope you got good off of them or whatever you got for them. If you don't
yeah,
know, you probably could get triple out of them right now.
yeah. Now, do
Yeah.
you get enough eggs to where you sell them as well, Mike?
Yeah, we do. It's not like a, we don't focus on it.
Yeah,
So
that's not your
here's
main
how,
business.
this is what got us selling eggs. We have a Bobby. I say we. My name's on it, but Bobby's built this cleaning company. We got up ridiculously crazy well. 5-star rating everywhere. She's got a waiting list 2 years long, and she's done really good with it. So when she goes to a normal residential client, usually they're doctors, lawyers, judges, things of that. And then when they get eggs, they want like eggs, just either 2, 3 dozen. And they found out, we're homesteaders or whatever. So those are usually the only people we didn't even offer. They were just like, "Hey, y'all got any extra eggs?" And Bobby's like,
Yeah,
"Oh gosh, we have them all the time. We normally boil them and give them back to the chickens for nutrition, but we sell them once in a while." And then the next thing you know, so we had like normal clients that we sell eggs to, but we never go set up and sell them anywhere
right.
else.
You're
We
not
do pretty decent with clients.
right. You're not advertising. You have word of mouth clients.
Yeah, because I mean, we'll like when we wake up in the morning, we'll kill a dozen ourselves. And we're minimizing now because I got new breeds coming in. We're resetting a whole lot this year on the way we do things here, including the way we garden
Yeah.
and the way we use chickens in the garden. So we're going to be doing a whole lot of things different this coming year, with a lot of different breeds too.
Well, that's why I was asking about that when you to incorporate the chickens, because of the pecking order, right? I'm sure
Yeah,
that those new chickens or new hens, um, may or may not be accepted by the original
yeah.
flock.
These are so special. They get a spot all by themselves.
That's good. That's
They
good.
have a spot dedicated and built for them already. All of our breeds are always separated. I know Wyandottes. If anybody has Wyandottes and you incorporate another chicken that's of a different breed, a lot of times, especially the blue Wyandottes, and I don't know why it has to do with color, but blue Wyandottes are really bad to not want to have anything else to do with any other chicken that's not a blue Wyandotte. Like you put a silver lace, it's still a Wyandotte, but if you stick them in there with blues, they won't fight, but you can just tell they stick to their own self and they'll isolate. I don't know why it's like that, but so we keep ours. It's really, really bad if they're a different breed. But if you take like Buff Orpington and you get some brand new Orpingtons and put in there, it's still you still got to go through the motions of implementing them the right way. Because Jesse's right. If you don't put them in the right way, there's always going to be trouble. Even if the chickens are sisters and was born at the same time. If you take one out and you take her out long enough to where the chickens forget and the pecking order resets, she'll have to fight her way all the way back to where she was before when you put her back in there.
Right.
So yeah, but these are all set. They have their own place, and we're just gonna let these populate until they get the count we want. I'll hint you though. I'll give you the hint. They lay the darkest eggs in the world.
The ones you're getting,
Yeah,
are they
they,
Morans?
yes they
Would
are.
be
They sure are.
Morans.
There is a type. It's a color of Moran I've been trying to get forever.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
But
I've seen that Moran color chart. They even got a color chart for Moran eggs, right? The
yeah,
color of the egg. So even within the Morans, you can get a light color brown or a dark, almost red, color egg.
yep.
So,
And something most people didn't know about them: the dark brown that's on the egg is actually in the bloom. So you can take your fingernail and scratch it off, and it'll be a bright white egg under it.
oh,
Whereas
really?
if you get an Easter egg or something, that a color is in the shell, you can't get it off. But with Morans, you can scrape that white off, and also what you feed them can enhance the darkness or make it lighter. And when they molt, it'll also make their eggs go lighter for a while. But when they come back dark, they'll get darker after that. So it's really interesting. I don't know why. It's just I always wanted some. They're a little
So,
bit different of a chicken.
so if I want my chickens to lay brown eggs, I need to feed them some frijoles then, huh?
I won't want to lay gold eggs.
I don't have
If
chicken.
we can find one of them, I'll split it with you.
I figured you already did. Now, do you have like within the Morans? I'm just saying. I know you got some different breeds, but like within the Morans, do you have? Do you ever notice that if one Moran will lay more than others, or do they all lay? Because I know they all have a fixed amount of eggs in their system. That's it. But do you
Yeah.
have one that lays better than the other? Like this one here puts out 12 eggs a week. This one puts out 2.
Yeah. Well, not that drastic, but there is always, and I know that like in Leghorns,
Right.
there's always at least one that you always have one chicken that's never missed a day. No line. They'll never miss a day and fall over dead and never have one day they didn't lay an egg.
Right.
Versus the sister that came from the same hatch. Leghorns is almost an everyday anyway, but she might miss 2 a week, and her sister not ever miss a day the whole time she's alive. So you can have it that way, but it's never really a drastic big number when it's the same breed.
Right.
Most of the time, they'll stay within 1 to 5 egg count of the other one.
Right.
But, five's different though. You know what I'm saying? One can do 3 eggs a week, and the sister right beside of her go 5 eggs a week or 6. You know,
Yeah.
but it does happen. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. And what about the yolk? So how can you control the color of the yolk?
Oh, that's really easy. Listen, during the summertime or springtime, a lot of people will go buy stuff and get all crazy with, well, we're going to sell eggs. We need them yolks really dark. And just pick the dandelions out of your yard. When they bloom in the yellow bloom,
Hmm.
just pull the wild ones out and feed them to your chickens.
Oh, and that makes
It'll,
change.
it'll enhance it so good. And then when your dandelions run out, there's some other things that you can feed your chickens that makes it from yellow to a dark orange. People thinks it's corn. Corn's not one of them. But mostly we just do dandelions and things of that nature that already has the yellow pecked in it, and it'll go right over to the egg yolk. There's some food you can do that does the same thing, but it's really pricey.
So
There's a lot of different natural ways you can do it, but dandelions and flowers like that is most
right.
way.
Well, but if they're free ranging, like you said, they're going to get to those dandelions anyway. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, especially with a lot of the wild bugs and stuff.
Right. Barb's saying cayenne pepper. Hmm. Yeah. Then you have your werewolves rancheros coming out.
Yeah, now my grandpa was always used cayenne pepper in the winter, because my grandpa got chickens to eat eggs. That's what they was for. They was egg layers. So when he didn't get eggs in the morning with coffee, he expected eggs. So he always used cayenne pepper powder. He would use it in the drinking water, and it kept the chicken warm in its body all the time. So they just didn't know it was winter. They'd lay eggs all year long.
Right.
I don't implement that, but I've never heard anybody use cayenne to enhance the color
Of
of the
the
yolk.
right.
I know it helps them lay a lot more.
Um. What is there anything that I mean? Just one thing that you should never, ever, ever feed a chicken. I mean, we're talking about within the greens and vegetables. And is there one thing that you should never feed a chicken, even though it's consumable? You can eat it and it won't kill you, but it's bad for chickens.
Not There's not really one thing that we come in contact here with. I'm sure where everybody else lives at, there's different things, but for us, not really. It's an overall longevity of them having something they're not supposed to have. Like if you give them table scraps and you got onions or you got citrus in there, and it's covered up with something they do eat, and they're constantly eating it over and over again, you're going to hit a problem. But
Right.
there's not really one thing that we run into here where if you just give it to them flat out the next day, it's over. It wasn't the right thing, or it messes up their diet too much.
Yeah, and I guess onions would be pretty bad for them. Or like you said, citrus, especially the peel.
Citrus, and if you guys want to like get in deep detail when it comes to summertime, if you want, something, the food that you feed your chicken does affect how they eat or how they act. Corn has a lot of natural sugar, and if you implement a whole lot of corn, I know a lot of people like to use scratch, just plain cracked corn as scratch. That's not really scratch. Scratch has other grains in with it with the corn. If you're just giving them corn, that's cracked corn or whole corn. It's not scratch. Anyway, if you're just giving them corn like that, or you're giving them scratch grains that's 50% corn, corn's got a lot of natural sugar in it. And in the summertime, it amps those chickens up. So they're always moving more, they're eating more, They're scratching a lot more. You're going to spend a whole lot more money on feed because the corn just hypes the chicken up. I know a lot of people don't think it's true, but it amps them up to a level to where they'll eat 2 times more feed than they normally would, just depending
Right.
on how much corn.
It doesn't corn raise the temperature because they're already like 107 degrees all the time, right?
Yeah, a lot of breeds can hit 109 and 110. These hybrids stay 109. I know
Yeah.
a Golden Comet will run 109 all the time. I know back in the day, the older folks, or back in the older day, folks would give their chickens corn to keep them fat and warm during the winter. That way, they didn't have to eat as much and they wouldn't lose as much weight. Therefore, they didn't have to give them as much as the expensive feed. Corn would keep them fat and keep them warm through the winter, you know. And it does amp them up. So they ate a whole lot more because they're a lot. I think they're a lot more active. We do give our chickens corn here. We make it and put it in our feed, but um, there's a lot of stuff chickens can't have prolonged.
Right.
Like if you look at stuff that's not good for chickens, there's a big list, but it's for a prolonged period of time. If
Right.
they keep getting it
Now,
over and over and over again,
that's
seed
what I'm talking about.
brand,
The incidental stuff, like if there was an onion in your scraps, that's really not enough to really
no,
do anything. But if you fed them onions every day, I think that would, or
and that's
salt.
all they had, and it was covered. Because here's one thing about chickens: chickens know what they can or can't have. If they was really stupid, they would just walk around and eat fertilizer out of the garden and died. You know what I'm saying? They know what they can or can't have. So if they grab an onion, they'll spit it out. But like I said, if it's covered up, like if you got an onion, or you always have onions with supper every time, and it's covered up with oatmeal or something that they always like, and they're constantly getting that onion and not really tasting it or knowing that they got it and spitting it back out, that can become a problem. But most of the time, when a chicken picks up something, even though they don't got teeth, and chicken knows what they can and can't have, and you'd have to fool them pretty good for them to be eating something all the time. Most of the time, you see them shake their head, it'll go down, and sometimes you'll see it come right back up. That's just how they are. They know they got something bad, but
What about peppers? Like if I eat a habanero pepper, it's going to be hot. It's going to burn my tongue. Will it burn a chicken's tongue as
it's
well?
not in the, it's no, it's in a different way.
Okay.
It won't burn like the capsaicin don't affect the chicken's tongue because they don't really have taste buds in that way. They
Okay.
don't even really chew or process their food till it gets down here because they use grit and rock to chew it up. So they can feel the warmth from it, but their tongues really
But
don't
they
have
don't
it.
they don't have the same reaction to the capsaicin.
Yeah, right. They can't pick up capsaicin like we can, so they don't really
Right.
pick it up as spice.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Barb nailed it. Yeah, they don't really pick up on spicy stuff.
But Barb also asked a question earlier. What about raw oatmeal? Can chickens eat raw oatmeal?
I don't give them raw oatmeal, but the only reason why I don't give them raw oatmeal is because
It puffs.
we make our yeah we make our own here. Those oats are different than rolled oats and whole oats that we give horses and chickens. So it's not really bad for them, but like if you use Quaker oatmeal that has the sugars and the creams and all that stuff in it, don't give your chickens all that crazy
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Okay.
If it's just a normal can of oatmeal, absolutely. Dry oats and stuff that we ain't used and we ain't cooked it yet, I dump that stuff out there. They're fine with it. You know, it's not something you want to give them as a normal feed.
Oh, raw. You're saying raw as opposed to after it's been cooked already and
Right. Yeah, that's how we do it. If we have oatmeal that's old and left over and we ain't got cooking it yet, we usually buy the 1 gallon Quaker, just normal oats, right? We ain't got through it, it's out of date. We're like, we go dump it to the chickens.
yeah.
But none of the stuff that has the apples and the sugars and all the creams and all that stuff in it. So if we make sure we get the oats, normally we'll give them the dried oatmeal that we haven't cooked, but we like to stick to the whole oats and regular oats that you get from the feed and grain stores,
Right.
the rolled oat, rolled oats. Hey, brother, what's going on, Randy?
Yeah.
I didn't
So
see you in here, man.
good
I have missed a lot of people. Indiana Backyard Gardener. There's a bunch of people I probably ain't said hey to. Y'all,
hey
you know,
Randy. Yeah, that's some good information, folks. Uh, if you haven't checked out Michael's latest, or not latest, but a few videos back where he talks about chickens and their temperature and all that kind of stuff, so I would check out his videos to get some good information. I mean, I'm not a chicken farmer, and I enjoy listening to the information that he has. So, you guys that have chickens, you learn a lot.
What can I give chickens in my water? Okay, Wendy, I don't know exactly what do you mean give them in their water to do what? If you want them to lay eggs more, you can just give them pepper powder. That's in one of my videos. But if you're talking about giving them to help them have strength, or you're talking about the chick, well, I got a video on that also. I got a recipe for it. There's some stuff you can put in your chicken's water to keep them healthy all winter long. It helps them keep from losing weight. Also, if you give it to chicks when they first get there, it adds a whole lot of vitamins. If your chickens are fall ill or you think there's a little bit of cold, garlic is the first solution you want to go to because whatever garlic does to a human body, it has 6 times more healing power to a chicken.
Really?
Yes, we always implement garlic in our chicken's water along with natural honey and stuff like that. But for ailments, we use the same thing. We call it magic water. I got a recipe on my channel. Just type in magic water at the search bar on my right hand corner of the channel, and it'll take you right to it. And it tells you it's something that you can make up to make them better. But if you're talking about laying eggs or
But
more of them, just any kind of thing you can put in the water that keeps the chicken warm. Pepper powder, which is cayenne or jalapeno powder.
but we're talking in the winter though, Mike. Just at a minimum though, without all that stuff, wouldn't just warmer water help out instead of them drinking the cold water?
Well, no, not really, because the warmer water, once you take your water out there, a chicken's going to wait till it gets a certain temperature before it'll drink it.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that, a lot of people's like, there's no way. Now I got to go try this because chickens won't drink warm water. The reason why is because the water will go pass through, and a lot of times it'll go into the crawl. If that didn't happen, a chicken would never get sauerkraut because there, without water, there wouldn't be no bacteria, right?
Right.
If it gets too warm before the chicken drinks it, they already know that mold's going to build up in certain places where feed's at. So they're going to wait for it to get a certain temperature anyway. If it's cold outside and you have harsh winters, by the time they wait anyway, it's not going to have any heat. It's not going to affect their body whatsoever.
Right.
But pepper, like I said, like Barb said, they don't taste the spice, but the spice still affects their body in a warm way. Their body can feel the heat from it, but it don't burn them.
I got you.
So the spice in the pepper stays in their body a whole lot longer and keeps them warm, for up to 8 or 9 hours before it's ejected out the other end. They got warmth in their body, so it lasts a lot longer. But if they stick their beak in warm or hot water, they'll just wait till it gets a certain temperature so it don't cause an upset in other places.
I got you.
Yeah, that's sad. That's
Wow.
and check it out. I've already made it an hour saying I wasn't going to stay long talking about uh,
So that's gonna raise the price of eggs around that area for sure.
is and it's just especially it depends on who they send out to, who they ship to and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I just wanted to come up, say hello, and say thank you for everything you've done so far, and I appreciate your channel. Thank you for you and Bobby both for uh, putting out the content that you do put out because I know it's very informative. So, and
Well, I want to say the same thing to you and Lisa. You people are freaking awesome, man. You're all over the place. You support everybody. The giveaways, there's no telling how much stuff y'all are chunking out. That's crazy, man. You guys are just awesome people, and me and Bobby love you to death. We appreciate all you do for all your folks. And for you that don't know, I know Voon's talked about it a little bit, but it's coming time. A long time ago, Jules, my best friend, has talked me into writing a book about chickens, and it's I've been working on it for quite some time. Coming into fruition this year, the book's finished. This year, we're going to do pictures for the book, and then it's going to be coming out. We're going to release it on Amazon first.
oh, that's
It's
amazing.
going to be everything I know from start to finish, how to raise a chicken from a baby chick all the way up to breed them for beginners. The whole book's going to be for beginners and people like that. Of course, if you flip it over on the back of the book, there's going to be stuff for experts in there as well. But I'm going to do 2 books. They've done taught me into it. I don't know. I probably won't never do any more. I'm going to do 2 books. One all about chickens from start to finish. It's going to be wrote to where anybody, even a 9-year-old, can understand and implement every bit of it. And then the second book is going to be how to take those adult chickens you raised and implement them in your garden and your homestead so they can finish jobs for you, make your garden work better. You know what I'm saying?
I can already see the cover, Mike. It's going to be Midas on the cover saying "Yard Birds for Dummies."
Yeah, that's a good title too. Yeah, I love King Midas. We started that 6 years ago. We started a little heritage breed for people that don't know. We took our favorite chicken and we want that chicken to lay more eggs. They just didn't do enough for us during the year for our egg count, and we made a breed. It just we got lucky. We striked on something. Our favorite breed never changed. They just made more eggs and became more hardy to warm weather while they could lay back in the cold weather. And 7 years ejected forward. It's the Midas Gold breed, and it's the most popular breed that we've put out in North Carolina. And we got a wait list on that too. So
Yeah,
that's how they came about, and the little character came about from our rooster named King Midas. So
King Midas.
we're gonna make him the cover of the book. Jesse, thank you for coming up here and hanging out.
Well,
For what
I,
little time you did, man, I really appreciate it.
it was
Leanne,
all.
I'm
It was
sorry I
all
didn't see you. I love you too, lady. We thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for the shout out the other day in your live too.
oh, no problem. All right, listen. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm in case somebody else wants to come up, but I just want to say hello and thank you.
Thank you, buddy. We
All right,
appreciate it.
we'll
Tell
talk.
Lisa we said hey and give her hugs.
Likewise, Bobby as well. Thank you. We'll see y'all.
Okay, y'all. It's I've been on here 1 hour. I posted the link probably 5 times. I want to thank everybody. Rick, Grace and Fire. I'm not going to try to name all the names, but I might. Wendy, Barb, the other Wendy, Grace and Fire. Wendy, the new member. Thank you very much. We love you, sweet lady. Wendy's been around since the day we started our channel. Tina Ladybug, love to watch you cook. Indiana, it's good to see you back from the other place we both used to be at. It's good to see you here. Thank you for coming back over. Randy, my brother, thank you. Sweeney's Creek, I didn't see you guys come in. One of my other favorite Aussie channels, man. Anyway, we love you guys too. Thank you very much for coming in. I'll come and check you out. This is a new one. Thank you. Josh, thank you. I'm not getting off. I'm going to go through the whole chat now just to make sure because I've done started calling people out. And I think that's it. I think I went through all 14 or 15 of them. Rick, Little Ridge Farm, I hope things get better. I'm going to come over and check you out. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you coming in. Again, Leanne, sorry I didn't see you. A big hug to you. I'm going to come over and give you one in the channel, emoji hug. All right, guys. Jake, Ann, and the girls, the twins. I hope you guys are had a great weekend and you have a better week. Thanks. Sorry I didn't get to mention you and talk to you enough. Just running my mouth about chickens. I'm not sure if Jeff and Shona came in. Jeremy, it's good to see you again, man. Thank you for coming in. Nightbot, thank you for doing your job. Chuck and Belinda. Chuck, thank you for the phone call, buddy. It was a lot of fun. Glad we got to talk to each other, and now we're friends offline. All right, y'all. That's it. I'm leaving. Love each and every one of you. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with me. I'll try to do this again Saturday and Sunday and next weekend if the crazy night schedule allows it. Members only videos are coming up and more prototype packs. Thank you guys so much. And get you some chickens before it gets crazy. All right, y'all. I'm going to end broadcast. Thank you, and we'll see you again.